Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Now, today's ink I have in sample form DeAtramentis Steel Blue. It's a nice, bright blue, pretty solid. Yeah, it's a nice blue. All the tests were done in this Pilot 78G with a double broad nib, which, like all 78Gs, both broad and double broad are actually stubs. So now let's check out the chromatography. Uh-oh, my camera's doing that thing where turquoise turns into neon. Okay, well, as you can see, there's this sort of slate blue band down at the bottom, almost like a, I don't know, like chalk dusty. And then there's this sort of lighter blue right at the edge, and then the very dark blue up at the top. Same here, it just traveled further. Now, I thought I'd compare it to a couple other inks that you may or may not be familiar with. This is Steel Blue down here. And we've also got Noodler's Navy just above it, which you can see is a little more green. And then Diamine Majestic Blue, which you can see is a bit darker, and I don't know if I'm going to get this on camera, but yep, there it is. This ink sheens like crazy. So, yeah. And then above that, Diamine Indigo, which is another solid blue by, DeAtramentis Indigo, which is another DeAtramentis sort of like solid blue, but this one's a little brighter. It's just a hair's breadth closer to greenish, but yeah, so let's check out the paper test. Top down to density, Clairefontaine 90 grams per square meter. That was me smearing something else, so just ignore that. But as you can see, camera, come on. Decent shading. It's not a bright blue in the sense that it's a light blue, but it does have kind of, I don't know, it just pops a little bit. 15 seconds to dry. No bleed feather spread, no sheen, not a lot of echo. I said the dry times felt pretty good considering this was a double broad nib, so. Water test is a little messy, but actually it's a bit darker in person than it is on camera. But what's at the center is pretty clear. It might have done better in a round nib, but yeah, so. Next is Rhodia, 80 grams per square meter, where I feel like you get even more of the shading coming through in the writing, not just in the scrubby, but in the scrubby it's still pretty gorgeous. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it on camera, but there's like just like a razor thin line of red metallic sheen around the halo. That's going to be world's longest video. 16 seconds to dry. Here it looks slightly less woolly. Whatever. But yeah, no bleed feather spread, decent dry times. Once again, it dyed the paper a little bit, and once again, it's darker in person. But yeah, what's at the center, if you needed to, you could recover that without straining your eyes too much. It didn't explode, didn't feather, didn't get extra ugly. No bleed feather spread. Next is Tomoe River Paper, where it took 17 seconds to dry. And you definitely see shading, and I think I'm going to get some of the sheen that comes through. You get that red metallic sheen, and you get it all through the writing, but it's harder to get on camera. But yeah, so had a good flow, lots of red halo. I really like this pen, paper, and ink combo. I said the echo might be a problem for some if you're particularly sensitive to it. The water test is okay. It's not fabulous. Tomoe River loves to let ink just slide away once you add more water. But, yeah, what's at the center is there, so if you really had to recover it, you could. And then, yeah, so if you're sensitive to it, that might be something to be aware of. Next is 20-pound copier paper, and this is not the best copier paper ever. It dried almost instantly, but as you'll probably be able to see, it it got so woolly that it's almost, I mean, those are, I don't know if it's extreme woolliness or gentle feathering or something in between, but yeah, all shading's gone. The color is still kind of nice, but yeah, there's bleed, there's feather, there's spread, and I'm actually weirdly fascinated by this water test. Again, the camera's making turquoise turn neon, but what's at the center is very there and very clear and very dark, but there's this, I don't know, it's like a radioactive glow here on camera, but on here it's just turquoise. But yeah, there's something about that that's just oddly fascinating. But yeah, bleed, bleed, and more bleed. It might have done better in a smaller nib, would be my logical conclusion. Next is Mead Notebook Paper, where it took 2 seconds to dry. It did a little better than it did on the Copier paper. As you can see, it didn't spread quite as much. The line didn't get quite as explodey. But it's still a pretty bad pen, paper, and ink combo. There's bleed, feather, spread. It might have, again, it might have done better in a smaller nib. Because, yeah, double broad on this paper is never a good idea. Again, fascinating water test. Like, what's at the center is still very clear and very dark and didn't explode much, but what's going on around it is just crazy. Again, it's not neon glowing in real life. My camera's just being obnoxious. And last is Moleskine Notebook Paper, where everything was bad always. So, yeah, just extreme feathering. I mean, it's so woolly, and it exploded, and it's just a mess. And again, it might have done better in a smaller nib, but I'm not sure, because just the way this ink appears to be reacting with this paper is so bad. And this water test, I mean, even the stuff that's at the center, unlike the other two tests, this one really exploded, this one feathered, this one got very messy. The stuff at the center, not just this light blue washing off, but that is pretty atrocious. That bleed through is pretty darn bad. So, yep, there you go. DeAtramentis Steel Blue. It's a nice, bright, bold blue. I really love it in a nice stub on decent paper. Maybe put it in a smaller nib on the cheaper paper, but yeah, it's I'm actually considering getting a bottle of it. So for your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching. Bye.